Hi, everyone. My name is Juana Garcia. Hope everyone's having a great day. And today I will be discussing arteriosclerosis. Hope everyone can learn a little something about this today. Like, first of all, arteriosclerosis is often thought of as a disorder of the heart. However, it's a disorder of the blood vessels, where blood vessels are at risk of becoming blocked and not allowing blood flow. So let's get started. So the cause of atherosclerosis, the exact cause is not known. It's thought of to begin in childhood with lesions that start off slow, and as we age, the progression becomes faster. There's damage at some point to the inner layer of the arteries, and the fats and cholesterol and plaques that accumulate in the blood begin to accumulate on the lesion. And let me just move the screen here and I can show you an example. So this is an example of plaque beginning to build up in an artery wall. You can think of the plaque as the lesion as a pothole in the ground, and you can think of the plaque and cholesterols as mud flowing over that lesion. And over time, the mud starts to fill in that lesion, and over time, as mud continues to flow over the road, that spot builds up. For example, the pictures here, we have a nice clean artery with no lesions, and the blood is able to just flow through. But when there's a lesion and a buildup of plaque begins, over time, the cholesterols and fats and plaques begin to narrow the flow, and it blocks the blood to the tissues, and the hardening of the arteries happens because there's constriction. The arteries aren't able to expand and relax. Some risk factors to this can be high blood pressure, cholesterol, tobacco. High blood pressure can be a risk factor that causes arteriosclerosis. It can also be due to arteriosclerosis. Same with cholesterol. If you have high cholesterol, obviously that means you have a lot of fats and triglycerides flowing through your blood, and that allows for more things to build up on those lesions and for more things to continue to block the arteries. Smoking, diabetes, and obesity are things that are also risk factors that if there's already a lesion and something going on inside the artery walls, these health issues, these health concerns make it more difficult for the arteries to expand and contract and allow for more things to build up onto those lesions. So as far as demographics, it was a little difficult to find statistics regarding arteriosclerosis because of the fact that arteriosclerosis isn't typically diagnosed until there's an acute attack. However, the American Heart Association did have a statistic regarding atherosclerotic coronary disease, that this is a leading cause of death and major source of morbidity in developed countries such as the United States. The United States has an estimated 1 million deaths a year of atherosclerosis. American Heart Association also states that 32% of worldwide deaths account for atherosclerosis, and those deaths are usually stroke or heart attack due to clogged arteries. There is a they estimate a 13.8% prevalence among adults of 20 years and above. However, that statistic could be higher because, again, most people aren't aware that they're walking around with atherosclerosis until there is an acute attack. So as far as the anatomy of atherosclerosis, the circulatory, we have arteries running through our whole body. The circulatory system is arteries and veins. However, specifically atherosclerosis would be significant in the carotid artery, where the blood flows to the brain. And if you have a blockage in your carotid artery, you will end up with, you're likely to end up with tissue damage in the brain, causing a stroke. And in the heart, a blockage in a major artery to the heart would end up with a heart attack. We also have a major artery in a major renal artery, which leads to the kidneys. That can lead to kidney damage, and kidney damage also leads to high blood pressure. Then you've got major arteries leading to our extremities, our arms and legs. For example, our femoral artery here, blood clot in our femoral artery often leads to deep vein thrombosis, which would be blood clot in our leg tissue, and an artery in our legs. And if that blood clot becomes loose and is able to travel up back into the heart or the lungs, we would end up in the hospital with an acute attack. The physiology and symptoms of atherosclerosis, again, it's affects the circulatory system. Our arteries are muscular, elastic, smooth vessels. They're elastic and smooth because they should be allowed to expand and contract, and that way they can provide blood to nourish our tissues and organs. However, with atherosclerosis, the damaged artery walls are not able to expand and contract, and the blood flow ends up being blocked, and this lack of blood flow causes either an acute attack. Either an example would be a CVA, which is a cardiovascular accident, or an MI, which is a myocardial infarction. Diagnosis would be blood specimens, blood pressure, EKG. With a blood specimen or EKG, if those are abnormal, your doctor would prescribe some medications for you. And if those don't control your symptoms, they might perform an EKG, a CT, or an echo. If those still indicate that there might be something wrong, a more invasive diagnosis would include an angiogram, where a doctor would, with a small camera at the end of a long scope, go through your femoral artery up to your heart to be able to examine the vessels and locate any blockage that might be there. And they can also do some repairs. The best way to treat these things would be with medication, possibly surgery, and a doctor would definitely encourage and educate a change in diet and lifestyle. Any questions? No? Okay, talk to you soon. Bye.